Boss wrote me up for leaving work when my son was dying in hospital. Karma hit him hard when he saw us months later. I used to work at a company that had a strict policy against using personal devices during work hours. One day, my wife called me on my personal phone to let me know that our son had been in a car accident and was being rushed to the hospital. I immediately grabbed my things and headed for the door, but my boss stopped me and asked where I was going. I told him what had happened, and he said, "You can't just leave in the middle of a shift. We have a policy against that." I told him that my son was more important than any policy and left anyway. When I got to the hospital, I found out that my son had been hit by a drunk driver and was in critical condition. He ended up losing his leg and spent months in the hospital recovering. During that time, I was by his side every day, helping him through the pain and the surgeries. When I finally went back to work, my boss called me into his office and told me that I was being written up for leaving work without permission. I told him that I didn't care and that I would do it again in a heartbeat. A few months later, my son was finally able to come home, and we celebrated by going out to dinner. While we were there, we ran into my old boss. When he saw my son in a wheelchair, he came over and apologized for the way he had treated me. He said that he had no idea what we were going through and that he was sorry for being so insensitive. I accepted his apology, and we ended up having a good conversation.